Here are 5 proven tips to build a strong and successful relationship. Now, these are really important for those of us who are dating as well, because we need to lay down the foundations from the gate so we don't have to try and turn dynamics around on the other side. So this video is for absolutely everybody, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman that high quality men find completely irresistible. If that sounds good to you, you're on the right channel, and let's keep going. Righty ho, 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 ho. Okay, so some of these things are going to seem like, okay, we've heard that before, but communication is a cornerstone for a strong relationship. The problem is not that we don't understand that communication is important. The problem is that we believe that because we're speaking the same language that we're actually communicating. We believe that you're speaking in English and I'm speaking in English, therefore we're communicating. In this moment, communication is not about whether or not you can articulate and give meaning to the words that are spoken as per the Oxford Dictionary, but that you internalize the words that I'm speaking in such a way that they actually bring transformation and change. One of the key components about listening, I have a whole course on the Black Swan Relationship Academy, how to talk to men so they listen. But I really want you to go and get that so you can really hone in your communication skills. I mean, really become a star communicator, especially when it comes to speaking to the masculine mind. In the meantime, though, I want you to understand that there's one very key ingredient if we want good communication and a strong and lasting relationship. That key is listening. That seems super simple, except that we listen through the gate of our trauma, we listen through the gate of our wounds, we listen through the gate of our attachment style. There's so many layers that information has to go through before it is truly received for what it is. And often when we are in a conversation, maybe, we're kind of listening to speak, or we're listening to be heard. Maybe you come to the conversation with a childhood wound that nobody wanted to listen to, that you were never heard, that you were never seen. And so in the conversation, you were coming in with this language that says, hear me, see me. And even though you might be quiet and receiving information through your ears, it is not being internalized as presence, but more like, how can what he's saying allow me to be heard? And often this happens for both men and women. This is what cuts off communication. What I'm calling you to is a deeper introspection, because the reason communication is so hard is not because we do not know how to exchange language or the meaning of words. It's so hard because we're speaking through our trauma and our pain, our stories that we keep telling ourselves are often in the room with us while our partner speaks. And therefore, this is the birthing of a misunderstanding. Now, even if both of us have our stories, we are going to have a hard time actually communicating effectively. If my story is more powerful to me than your story, then my story is ultimately going to take precedent. But what I want to challenge you with is, even if your partner has a story and you are working on your stories, your ability to actually listen in for their stories is really going to help you with effective communication. You see, when we are actively listening, it's not just about being silent so they finish their phrase and their words and you try to find meaning, but active listening is hearing the stuff that is not being said, the stuff that's in silence, and the stories that are being conveyed as your partner speaks, the language they are using, listening to the frustration, the feeling, the energy behind what is being said. The truth is, it's the stuff that's not being said that is actually more potent when we're communicating? Do you sense frustration? Do you sense anger? Do you sense a cry for help? What are you listening for? This is something that coaches, therapists, and people in our position do a lot. When I'm sitting with a client, I'm not listening necessarily to the story they're telling me. I'm listening to their body language. I'm listening to the dis-ease. I'm listening to the moments they smile and the moments they look down. I'm listening to their body language. I'm listening to see how they feel about what they are saying as it comes out of their mouth, as it proceeds out of their mouth. How are they actually feeling about it? Because that's going to help me nail down specifically the thing that is bothering them. And actually, they leave thinking they came in for one thing, but in reality, they walk away with another thing, right? They came in looking for, maybe a chance to fix things with a partner. But actually, because I was listening really well, I realized that actually we need to probably work on this relationship with mom. Because if we correct the relationship with mom, then this other relationship is going to self-correct, because this is perhaps some baggage that comes. You can only really be able to do that, especially with a partner. And this is not about diagnosing a partner, but for instance, you say to your partner, "Hi, babe, how was your day?" And it's all right. You might be like, well, I don't need to be asking if you're going to answer me like that. But you can actually look at it and think, okay, somebody is feeling frustrated or feeling tired. And instead of asking further questions and being a nag, you can say, "Hey, do you want something to drink? I'll be happy to bring you a glass of water or a beer or whatever his favorite drink is, and leave you to rest for a little bit," right? So nothing in those words say he needed that, but you were listening for more. And so this is a skill that we learn over time. And of course, if you need help, we're here to help you. I'm going to leave you with that, because you can always get the rest of the course that gives you the strategies and the one-to-ones. And of course, we'll try and teach you as much as we can as we go along. I want to thank you so much for your support of this channel. You mean the world to me. And I am so grateful that your likes, your subscriptions, your comments make this work possible. I'd really want to encourage you, before you go any further, if you are enjoying this content, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with somebody that you know will absolutely benefit, because you're changing not only your life, not only the life of your friends, but the lives of women all over the world, and children in ways you cannot even begin to imagine. So don't forget, before we get back to the program, to hit that like button and share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. The second one is trust and transparency. Now, I know that as girls be like, yes, I need trust from him and transparency. But everything that we require must start first with us. Do you trust yourself? I find a lot of my clients don't have a trusting relationship with themselves. At some point in our lives, we get disappointed or let down and encounter different types of people, and we develop this distrust with ourselves. I dated that guy before and I trusted that path, and that path led me to pain. Therefore, I can't trust myself to make this decision anymore. I can't trust myself to lead myself. And so I start to move in smoking mirrors. I begin to hide my true feelings and my true intentions, because I don't know if I can trust them. And that's okay. That's okay, because that is a trauma response. And this is why we have coaches. This is why we have therapists and coaches and people who can support us in trusting our own voice, or fine-tuning what we are hearing our inner voice telling us. We all need that. Even I do. Sometimes I just don't see clearly when I'm in a dating relationship, because my emotions, my insecurities, my humanity as a way of blinding my vision. And so I rely on other experts to support me, to guide me, and to help me trust my inner voice more. Half the time they're going to tell me exactly what I know, but I need to hear it from somebody else so that I can get agreement. The thing is, when we don't trust ourselves and we move in smoking mirrors, or we have veils or shields or armors before us, we have a hard time creating an environment of trust and transparency. We can't hold space for ourselves, so therefore we can't hold space for our partner. It's really important that we can do both, that we can hold space for ourselves and space for our partners. We bring the trustworthiness and the transparency to the relationship, and in so doing, it creates an atmosphere where the other person can trust us. Now, when trust is broken, it's really about rebuilding that, but that's not what this video is about. Moving on to the third quality time together. I know that for many of us, some of us, this is our number one love language. This is definitely number two on my love language list. I love quality time. I know that time is very valuable to men of stature who are high value and bring a lot of good into our lives. Time is something they don't have a heck of a lot of. But I'm so very grateful when they do, make that effort to give me their time. But I also find that quality time is really about what we do in that time and what I bring to that time spent. Sometimes we want quality time, but we haven't got anything really that we want to share in that time. I'm not talking about conversations, fun conversations to have. If that's your thing, have a fun conversation you want to have. But I'm really talking about our presence. Sometimes we want quality time, but we're not present in the moment. We're not licking the lid of the moment, because when you do lick the lid of each moment, you show up different, and the energy of that encounter is different. And what happens is that we get hooked on that energy when somebody is around you, spending quality time with you, and they're feeling seen, and they're feeling heard, and they're feeling known, and they're feeling like you showed up wholly and completely, not your insecurities, not your other parts that keep you safe, not your stories, but you are showing up. You're showing up vulnerably. And if you are able to really show up, quality time will be something that will become normalized in a relationship. It's not just about the minutes, the seconds, the hours. It's about what we do with those 5 minutes, whether we bring our whole self to the encounter. Respect and appreciation is key in the relationship. For us ladies, we experience respect as cherishing. The man who comes home and doesn't stop by and have beers every single night with his friends. The guy who chooses to be home on a weekend with us and the kids. The boyfriend who chooses to take us out when he could have been with the boys, or who chooses to spend time with us first before he goes off somewhere. When we feel cherished, then we are going to internalize that as respect. And of course, with men, it's really about respecting their thoughts, really respecting their ideas and holding space, and really being receptive and validating. This allows men to feel respected. Without this sense of respect, for women, that comes with cherishing, and for men, that comes with holding space for his mind and his thoughts and his decisions. Without this, and without constant appreciation for one another, our differences, the compliment we bring, without creating a culture in our relationships that is laced with appreciation for moments where they show you great understanding, appreciation for those moments they give you the time and space that you need. When we show our partner respect and appreciation, we build foundations for a really strong relationship. And that starts from the dating phase all the way through to marriage. And I promise you, I don't care where your marriage is right now, if you would start with respect and appreciation, it might take a while for your partner to get it. And if they're not completely toxic and they're genuinely a decent person, but things have gone awry, you will be very grateful that you watched this video. Last but absolutely not least is conflict resolution skills. What can I say? This is a non-negotiable. Being able to resolve conflict in a peaceful amicable way, even if it's a little bit impassioned, even if it's a little bit, fiery. Our ability to be in self-possession and self-control when conflict comes is really a sign of our maturity and our commitment to the relationship. Being sweet, lovely, and wonderful can be hard work, but there isn't more work than having to hold back your wrath and all of your inner child's trauma at a particular situation. It's really important that we can hold ourselves accountable to our behavior and to our words, to choose our words, and above all, to choose when we address things. And maybe in that moment is not the best time. Maybe we need to regulate first and maybe deal with some of our demons and ask ourselves why we are so triggered by this particular action before we address our partner. Not to say that we want to gaslight ourselves. I'm sure there will be a reason why a black swan would be upset. If you know anything about black swans, when they're upset, they're not a beast, they become a beast, basically. And so there's a reason why a black swan would flare up its wings and go for any beast that would come against it. But it's really important that that only ever happens in a situation where you may have to call the police, a lawyer, or a doctor. You may actually have to do that. If it doesn't call for that, if you don't have to call the police, a lawyer, or a doctor in this scenario, then we can definitely take some time to cool off and really come inwardly. Conflict is a wonderful thing because it helps us understand our needs better. It helps our partner to understand us better, and it helps us move the relationship from one stage to the next. Unfortunately, growth in a relationship often comes accompanied with conflict, but how we deal with that conflict, how we control our temper, and how we manage our words is fundamental to the success of any relationship and keeping it strong. If you need help with your relationship and you feel like it's on its last legs, you don't know if you should stay or whether you should go, you don't know what else you can do, we are here for you. We exist for the very purpose and the very reason of supporting you, and we will be more than happy to hold your hand. All you have to do is book a discovery call with any of our coaches, and we will be able to diagnose the problem that you're experiencing in your relationship, find the genesis of it, and give you a solution in that call with your next steps to resolve it permanently. We would love to hear from you. We are excited when we do hear from you. It's always a pleasure for me to meet you on a one-to-one. I hope that this video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one. In the meantime, do take care of you. Love you lots. Bye now.
Simple steps to join Black Swan community. Download the Black Swan app from either Google Play Store or Apple Store. Launch the app and tap on register. Put in your valid information, then tap on continue. Put in the verification code sent to your email to authenticate your account. Then log into your account. Be sure to accept all permissions displayed at installation stage to enjoy all the cool features in the app. You can now enjoy a community of high-value women with support from coaches and trainers. Book calls with coaches, chat, post, and interact with the community. Enjoy!